How the hell are you, Chris? Welcome to Getting Hard in Nate's backyard.
I'm well, dude. I wish I was in your backyard. It feels like I am, but geographically, I'm just not there.
Yeah, that's a pretty dope backyard to be in, though, where you're at.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet, man. I was just telling you before we got rolling here, I was at my buddy Matt's place, and they built an igloo in their backyard. So he's really got it made now. He's like, he iced it up and everything. They just dug it out. They've been building it up and, solidifying it, and now they have a sweet little hut, and he's thinking of renting it out on Airbnb.
Oh, man. Like a hunting camp or something. Is there deer out there?
Yeah, I don't know. You could fit, a couple cots in there. Not too much, but yeah, I thought they should get a little stove in there or something.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. So we should tell the people where we are. I'm in Calgary, Alberta, and we're talking via telephone because it's the most secure, stable means of communication. And you're in just outside of Saskatoon, right?
Yeah, man. I'm at the Sun Temple Studios just outside of Kalonze, near Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Mm-hmm. Great place. How many acres is that place?
I don't know, man. Those measurements escape me. I don't know. The studio's just on the home quarter, and the owner, he owns a few more sections around this area that he just rents out to other farmers, but I don't know how many there are. It's not too much land. It's enough land for anybody from the city. It just seems like forever, but in terms of farmland, it's not a ton.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and I should have said this at the beginning, but thanks a lot for doing this. I was thinking today, I was like, fuck, haven't we done this already? But I figured we had done this already.
I think we put it out there once, but no, thanks for reaching out, man. It was like 6 hours ago, maybe. I got a text from you. Hey, we should do a Swapcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see if we can get it rolling tonight.
Yeah, fucking A. Well, thanks for being on it like that, because it's nice to be able to put out content when it comes to these things. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, man. That's the hardest thing is consistency. Everyone wants to, I want to dabble in everything. I want to try everything, but to get good at anything or to really develop any gravity around it or build up a following, you have to be consistent and build. And yeah, I'm trying to hold myself to my podcast coming out just once a month. I'm like, that's fucking doable. At first I was like once a week, and you realize, oh shit, you got to book guests and there's editing to do and whatever.
Yeah, life shit.
Life shit, but consistency, yeah. Yeah, one a month, I should be able to do that. What about you? How often have you been putting up your podcast? You've been pretty solid with it.
Well, yeah, not as consistent as I want to be, for sure. Sometimes I'll go a couple months without putting any out, but I just put one out after about, I don't know, I think it was 2 or 3 months. August.
Oh, yeah.
August, I believe. So, but yeah, I know what you mean exactly. Like, one a week for sure. That's no problem, right? Yeah, well, it is. Like you say, booking guests and what are you going to talk about all that time? And, I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. And there's just real life stuff. Yeah, when you got a family, man, all those responsibility bubbles around you. Time just seems to, like, you just throw it away like money. Like, it's just rent, every month there's just heaps of time that you just shovel away.
For sure.
Sleeping, for one, bullshit like that.
Absolutely.
And then how old's your kid now? You got one or do you have two?
I just have one.
You got one little girl, right?
Yeah, she's turning 5, like, next week.
Wow. Yeah, I think last time I saw you, she was maybe like 2. It's been a couple of years since I've seen you.
Yeah, for sure. You have 2, right? Of like girls?
Yeah. Yeah, 10 and 7.
10 and 7. Wild. Yeah, you're a little further down the road than me. They must help out a lot more at that age.
You'd think they would.
Damn it.
But man, when they get to be that age too, they like the time, like the 10-year-old goes to swimming 3 times a week, and we live about 35 minutes out of the city, so driving into the city and back 3 times a week for swimming. And the younger one was taking drum lessons actually with grandma.
Oh yeah, cool.
A couple months, but she's kind of like me. She likes to dabble and she doesn't want to commit to really.
Yeah.
So she's not doing that anymore.
Yeah, I was like that at that age too. Still am, really.
Yeah.
So
it's cool.
That's cool. We should, for people that don't know you, that might be listening to this. So you're kind of like me. That's how we were able to do this so quickly, in the sense that we do different stuff for a living, like more musically kind of based, right?
Everything.
Night owls.
Around music.
Night owls.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah. Not unusual to catch, I'm sure, yourself or me up at the studio at 2 a.m, tweaking something.
Sure. So you do a lot of studio work and anything else in the music industry, or like, do you have a day job? I can't remember.
No, I worked at Long McQuaid for a long time, and I think I've been away from there now for probably 5 years this year.
Oh yeah.
Since I've just been, working for myself, and I've done some production jobs on the side, helping out with sound at some events on the side, and
sure.
Yeah, one-off bar gigs and stuff like that. I'm doing less and less of that, and just kind of spending more time in the studio.
That's awesome. What are you working on right now?
Right now, I've got a kind of big band crooner type guy named Drew Tofin.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think the third or fourth project I've done with him.
Huh.
And it's cool because it's a wide range of instruments. Like there's, horn sections, string sections,
very
drums
cool,
and bass, and really solid players. And Drew's a great singer, and it's it's nice to be able to stretch out into that stuff and give your ears a break from the metal.
Sure, exactly. I feel that on Wednesday. I guess I don't know what date it is. I'm doing this 18-piece big band that comes to Dickens.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they're called the Wednesday Night Big Band. They're a real good time.
Awesome.
Yeah. They have a four-piece trumpet section, and then 4 or 5 trombones, and 4 or 5 saxophones, and the saxophones always play like something else, like flutes or piccolos or something. And then a rhythm section, drummer, bass, guitar player, keyboard player, and then they have 2 singers that trade off.
Awesome.
It's weird doing it live for sure. It's So are you doing a lot of sections like that in recording something like that? Are you getting like 4 trumpets in there to do like a section at a time, or are you layering
sometimes
one trumpet a whole bunch of times?
No, we'd get sections, like usually 3 players at a time, 3 trumpets or 3 saxophones.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, a couple violinists and a cellist, and then even with some of those, to make them sound like a bigger section, we would maybe double some parts just so we could spread it out, or add some harmonies, layers of strings or horns.
Sure. Well, talk about your studio for a second. I mean, super dork alert. Like, if you don't know tech stuff, just fast forward a little bit. But like, what do you run in there? Do you have an analog board that goes into a computer, or what are you rocking there at Sun Temple Studios? What's the name of your What's the name of your company too?
Yeah, so the way it's set up, Toneshift Audio is everything that I do audio related. That's just my business name I go under. And this building is Sun Temple Studios. So, myself and Graham built the place with a good friend of ours, Mike from Johnny Don't.
Yeah.
And he's had a lot of contracting experience and handyman stuff, and we just kind of had a dream and a vision, and Graham's dad helped us with the materials, and so we put this thing together. It's built into a house. It's kind of the best we could for being built into a structure that's already here.
Yeah.
Double walls everywhere, and like resilient channel in the ceilings, and the heavy drywall with all the insulation and the extra layers of sheetrock up in there. And
very cool.
Just kind of did the best we could for being built into a house.
Yeah.
So there's the control room, a live room, a vocal booth, and another ISO booth in the back for cabs, and there's a kitchenette here. There's a band room with bunk beds and a big sectional, and another sectional in the kitchen, and another bedroom in the back. It's a big box of a place. Bathroom and shower down here. So sometimes bands will come out for a weekend, or a few days. There are accommodations so you can just really immerse yourself in a project. But on the gear side, I'm pretty happy with my setup now. I've got this Soundcraft vintage Soundcraft Series 600 board.
Oh yeah,
It's a 24 channel 8 bus.
cool.
And it's been all recapped, and the power supply's all recapped and kind of overbuilt. So it's about as clean as it could be, and the EQs are handy. I used to have a Soundcraft 200 board, and it didn't have sweepable mids, so the EQs were only so useful.
Sure.
So, and I've got the 24 channels normal. I've got the Orion 32 ADDA, so 32 ins, 32 outs.
Oh really?
For
fucking A, dude. I'm looking at that Goliath.
Oh yeah,
Man, I want that thing so bad.
that's the big guy.
So, when did you get the Antelope stuff?
The Orion I just got within the year. I think it was last summer.
Oh wow, man.
No, it might even been still this year. I don't know. It's almost been a year.
Is it an audible difference?
It's really clean.
Yeah.
But like not in like a sterile way.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, it is. It's got a sweeter top end for sure, and it's not as tubby. I had a 002, like a Black Lion modded 002 before, and
Sure.
that was fine and good, but you can only take those things so far. And right away, the noise floor dropped with the Antelope, and yeah, I just noticed the top end was nicer, a little more pleasant, and the bottom end was tighter, like it wasn't as tubby.
Oh,
So,
that's
yeah,
fucking awesome.
there's all those audio terms of warm and smooth and soft and brittle and edgy, and yeah, I don't know. Everyone's got their own ways of hearing things, but that's my impression on it. But my favorite thing about it is just how, and I'm not sponsored by these guys by any means, but just I did have some tech problems at the start. They had some shitty kind of drivers and stuff like that for PC. I've been running on PC forever. But yeah, the sweetest thing about this is just 32 ins, 32 outs clean, so I can have like 24 channels on my board, normaled right to it, and then some outboard pre's normaled to it, and I've got my patch bay if I want to change anything around or patch in anything in between.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I'm pumped about the Goliath because it's got 16 pre's built in, and then you can dock up to 32 at once. So then I could have a funky, like I get, I don't have my ideal producer rack built yet. Fuck, I wish I will soon. Enough. I've actually
it's almost never ending, eh?
Well, I've almost almost just started too. Like I'm gonna be, yes, I've already acquired stuff, so I'm starting to acquire stuff now. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
Cool stuff that you only buy once, like because it's really, really good. And putting it in a rack, but yeah, for getting going right away, I can't wait to hear that thing. It's like $6,000 though.
Yeah, man.
The one
That's
I want.
it. But yeah, like you said, yeah, you could use that for the rest of your career as long as they support the software.
All right. Why wouldn't they? They better. I can't be
Yeah, well,
expected to use this computer forever, can I?
Well, that's it. Like with the Digi stuff, like I was using my 002 till the bitter end, but they stopped putting out drivers for anything past Pro Tools 10 officially. It works on Pro Tools 11, but you had to kind of hack it.
Man, I think they really took the wrong route with all that, trying to sell everybody all that hardware and then legacying it. I mean, I know Apple does it and stuff, but it's kind of, look at all the other things it's sprouted, like every other DAW in the world. Like you can get Reaper now for $60 full unlock, like open source DAW because, and you don't have to pay it for a $20,000 piece of hardware to turn it on either.
Yeah, exactly. Big expensive key.
Well, that's cool. What else? What's the last couple projects you've done, just to give people an idea?
I've been working with Sequel, local hip-hop guy.
Cool.
He's kind of been on hiatus from the studio a bit. He's got a big family he's supporting.
Sure.
And living life, but I think he's coming back pretty soon to work on these two records he's been working on here. So the hip-hop stuff's fun. The stuff I've done with him, I didn't produce the beats, so he'll have beats from other producers, bring him in, and then I just record and produce the vocals here with him.
Sure. Yeah, cool.
And then one of them I'll be mixing, and one of them he's sending off to another guy to mix.
Right.
And what else? Grizzly Hawk. They're a fun band. This is the third project with these guys I've worked on. We recorded Last month we did 6 songs, just an EP. They've just been itching to put out some new stuff. They're from Humboldt out here. It's a smaller city, about an hour from Saskatoon, I guess.
Yeah, probably has, 1,000 people in it, tops?
Oh, it's maybe I think it's more like 50,000 or something.
Whoa.
I think. I could be wrong. Maybe there's 20 or 30, but no, they seem to have a lot of, like that small town support, but I think it's a little bit bigger than a small town. Maybe 20,000, I don't know.
Cool.
But yeah, they're like skate punk, metal kind of stuff, and really, really fun. I don't know, it's fun working with those dudes. Just kind of reminds me of the good old Sparky days when all the guys are in the same room on the same page, working on the same music and sweating it out and joking around.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you brought that up because I was trying to get there somehow. Yeah. I don't know if people know, but you're the guitar player for Sparky. Is Sparky still active, or are you guys on hiatus, or just keeping it real and just feeling it?
Yeah, I wouldn't say active. We actually had to kind of get all in contact here recently. Somebody asked us to play, I don't know if it was 420 Fest or something in Calgary. Something to do with 420.
Yeah.
And we were asked to play that, so we got back on the old group message. We haven't all been in the same room for a while. Actually, Graham's wedding, we all got together.
Oh.
So that's where we last saw each other in September.
Man, if I wouldn't have had a huge gig that weekend, I would have fucking been there. Fuck.
Oh, that was a busy weekend. It's one of the last nice weekends in summer. There's always stuff going on.
And have you ever been out to Edgewood?
I went out there for the actual wedding there too.
That was the first time you were there, though?
Yes.
It's pretty cool, eh?
Oh, it's fucking, yeah. Beautiful place, man. Little paradise.
Yeah, fucking nuts.
Yeah, it was at the ceremony that they had out here at the farm, or not ceremony, but just a kind of a party for all the people that didn't make it out to Edgewood.
Oh, okay.
And that's when John and Niels and Graham and I all got together out here. It's the last time we were in the same place. But yeah, we got offered this gig, and I thought, yeah, that'd be great. But here's, my terms is just that as long as we can practice at least once a week leading up to the gig. We haven't all played together for like over a year, whatever. Maybe it's been 2 years now. I don't know.
Sure.
But I'm like, if we're going to do this, I'm not going to get back together and then play some shitty set, that you don't want to come back shittier.
Yeah.
So like if we can jam at least once a week and put in our own time and just kind of tighten up, I'd be willing to do this. But
for sure.
But we're trying to book get together times, and it's just kind of been tough. Neil's going to school. John's working in a school right now.
Well, doesn't Neil live like out here?
Yeah, but he's going to school now here. He's doing his practicum here for social work.
Oh yeah.
Or when I say here, I mean in Saskatoon.
Right.
So he's living with his brother during the week, going to school there, and then he zips home on the weekends or every other weekend or whatever to visit the family.
Yeah, cool. I saw him. He came out to one of our Red Deer shows.
Oh yeah. I'd always see these little pictures he'd post, get jealous, like, there's Niels and Big Nate and Big James, and everybody's getting together. All these dudes I haven't seen forever. Yeah,
that's right. Big James was there that night too. Yeah, good times.
Yeah. I saw him in the picture there too.
Yeah, right on.
So yeah, it's been tough. Like we all want to get together, and the intention's always there, but I don't know. I think I'm the first now. I've just seen our tendencies and the patterns in the past where everyone wants to do stuff. And I'm like, okay, now we got to make it happen. And what's the plan? And if it's not going to be there, let's just do everybody a favor and bow out before we, make some commitment we can't keep.
Sure. So you guys open for, I mean, I know everybody always asks you about this, and fucking probably me too, but you guys opened for Lamb of God in, like, what was it, 2009, right?
Yeah, it was 2009. It was right around this time too. I think it was December something. Yeah,
cool. So, like, what do you have to say about that? How was that? Was that awesome, or was it weird, or what the fuck? Did you get to meet any of them? Tell me.
Yeah, that was a dope experience, man. It was pretty last minute. I think it was within 2 weeks of the show. We were contacted by some promoter out of Regina. I don't know if it was Zandra, but somebody out of Regina that they were looking for an opener for the Saskatoon show at Prairieland. They asked a few people, and everybody said our name. So they called us, and then next thing we know, we were on the show with Lamb of God. We walk in the place. Niels wanted us to wear the sparkly shirts. So we had these sparkly shirts in a bag. We're like, oh, okay, we're gonna put on the sparkly shirts before we play. What should we put on now or put on later, whatever.
Awesome.
And we're walking backstage at Prairieland. Really cool roadies. These guys run up to our van and they're helping us unload our gear, and we felt like little princes back there. And right away Randy comes running out, and he kind of introduced himself, or shook our hands and stuff, and started showing us around. And it was funny. I don't know if he was like sober at the time or something. He was just like a little kid. He was just really like friendly and personable, which was the exact opposite experience I had with him the other 2 times I like bumped into him just randomly at shows in Saskatoon. I'd see him and I'd always just get this impression he was just a dick.
Yeah, right. Get out of my way.
But yeah, keep walking.
Yeah, keep walk on home, boy.
Yeah, but he was sweet. He was showing us around backstage, and the coolest thing was that when it came our time to play, we opened the set, we played first, and a couple of guys from Lamb of God were standing on the side of the stage rocking out during a song or two of ours. So that was like a sweet little nod, just that they're, like half the time, bands that you're friends with don't even, watch you after a while. It's just like you've seen a million bands, and you're sitting in the back bobbing your head or whatever, but it's just cool that these guys are right there actually rocking out.
Well, and that shows you they know good music too, because, like, fuck, how many times when they're on tour is there a Lamb of God clone that's locally opening up for them, right? And I'll just tell
I'm sure.
I'll just tell everybody right now, go check out Sparky. If you can't find it, put Saskatchewan in there somehow. But like, you guys are definitely not a Lamb of God clone. Your guys' shit is very original and all over the place. So, but very coherent and killer. So that's good that they they're like, what the fuck is this? This isn't just fucking Kill Switch Engage 2.
Yeah, I think it's always nice when you can surprise somebody a little bit. That's what we're all looking for as old guys. It's harder and harder to surprise yourself, or for anybody to like make you perk your ears up, like so you've heard it all, seen it all before. You've had that experience or whatever. So yeah, maybe that was it. It was just kind of like catches them off guard. That's what I love about Meshuggah and like Mr. Bungle and weird ass bands like that, where you can't always catch on the trail that they're weaving, that throws you off, and that's what I like about it. It's like a puzzle that you just can't. It's like, fuck, I wouldn't have guessed that next. That's not the way I would have went.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's good times. Fucking A.
Who are you playing with these days?
I'm still in Kayaktis. Yeah. We're just.
You guys are still active?
Oh yeah. We're. Everybody's been asking us to do shows, and we've unfortunately had to refuse a bunch of them because we're writing, and it was we had really kind of went at the writing process a couple different ways that didn't work, that cost a bunch of years really, but now we're kind of like on a roll. So I just kind of want to do this in one fluid motion, like just write, and record, and get it down really good, and get it recorded and put it out, and then go play every fucking show,
Fuck yeah.
Go tour tour the world to show it to everybody, and then after that, decide if we want to do it again.
Right, but yeah, give it the proper attention it deserves. That's harder and harder, I find, as you get older, to really just immerse yourself in something, because you have to get pulled out of your zone. You gotta take your kid to school, and your wife's got to go here, and you're doing this, and you gotta.
Yeah, but all that stuff aside, like let's say I never had a wife or kid. It's to me, it's got to be done in a certain way, or what ended up happening with us anyways, we ended up throwing away a bunch of songs because we were just trying to shit them out to get them out, and like, so it's like, whoa, okay, let's take our time and do this the proper way, and but to find the time. Like, that's the only reason I removed the family kind of thing from it, is no matter what, you got to find the time, and you got to, and to me,
no matter what the circumstance.
Yeah, and I think we're smarter now that we're older, and we should act like it, and I'm kind of convinced that, everybody, well, in my band at least, Like I can tell, I can see it happen. They're like, let's go play a show, man. Let's do this show. We got offered this show, and it's like I'm sorry to be that guy to put the brakes on it and stuff. Like I don't want to put the brakes on anything, but I want to just do it right, you know.
Yeah, that's me too, man. Mr. Realist.
Because I think it'll end up saving us time in the end. Because if we put 6 months on writing and recording it, then boom, that's done.
Yeah.
If it's like every time you throw a show into the mix, it's like, okay, we got to drop everything. We got to relearn all our old shit. And, you know,
yeah.
Like we're on a real writing kind of flow right now. So that was the idea. It was to get that going and keep it going.
Yeah, that's a good idea, man. That's a mature move to not just jump around like that. Because yeah, if you put all the forces, you know, aim your whole army in one direction, like you're gonna, you know, if you're in touring mode, get tight at the set you're gonna be playing on tour or the songs that you're gonna be picking from.
Sure.
And focus on that. If you're in writing mode, you don't want to think about your old shit at all. You want, you know, you're looking for some new shit to inhabit that space. You're trying to get yourself off again and fucking make yourself, you know, fucking nod your head and slam your hair back. You know, you want to play that shit back and be like, this is the music I want to listen to, right?
Yes, exactly. And that's a good point, is not thinking about the old stuff at all to try to make new. Like how else could you do it if you're constantly stuck in the old stuff, right? Which exactly. It's been great though. We're getting together, like basically for the last month, Doug and I have been getting together and putting shit together, and now it's all ready to jam on as a band. So I'm pumped for jam tomorrow.
Yeah. And you haven't been working out of the Slaughterhouse for a while, right?
No, I haven't worked there since 2011, but then I've been working at Dickens and Distortion doing live stuff ever since. And then still doing studio stuff, still recording bands, and I'm just kind of.
And do you do that?
Sorry?
What do you use for a studio space?
That's the thing. I kind of float around. I'm like a renegade, man. I'm like Mr. Freelancer without an actual home right now. But that's cool because I mean, with the way that I do a ton of metal bands and stuff because I don't have a studio to just like I don't have just a vocal booth I could do stuff in or something. But besides this podcast, my garage, but so I do end up doing a lot of metal bands and stuff. And I mean, really, you kind of only need a room for drums. So we'll just go get a cool place for the weekend, and usually we can smash out drums in a day or two or three. And then everything else we just do, I don't know, in their basement or depends. I mean, I have gone to like vocal booths to do vocals and stuff, but you don't have to have some perfect place to do that either. Especially,
no, really. And if you got a laptop and a suitcase with some mics in it and a little rack, you can get it done anywhere.
Fucking A, exactly. Yeah. A few special mics. Yeah, I got some mics definitely that I'm building up here, which is killer. And then, but yeah, now to get onto the expensive pre's like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, preamps will kill you.
So, sorry.
I was just going to say, I've really been enjoying using the mixing board as much as possible, just using all pre's from one source, you know, just to have like this phase coherence and be using the same EQ and the same kind of level setting. It's kind of liberating. And even to run some of my outboard pre's, run the line outs into the board, so everything's right there. You know, EQ, you carve out some of that shit that doesn't need to be there on the way in, and just kind of less stuff to deal with later.
No, that's killer. I'd love to come out there and either record or be part of recording or something one day. That'd be killer, man.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about your podcast a bit, Conjecture Time.
Sure, man.
What made you? I mean, besides Joe Rogan, he's kind of like the Jesus of podcasting, isn't he? I mean,
right.
And then Bill Burr would be like the fucking Moses or something. Fuck, do you go? You realize that guy's been podcasting since like 2005 or something ridiculous? Bill Burr.
Right.
Yeah, it's hilarious. But yeah, so was it purely Joe Rogan that got you into wanting to podcast, or?
Oh, that was definitely my my gateway. Like I listened to him first, and then started listening to a bunch of his comedian friends.
Like which ones?
Duncan Trussell was probably one of the first ones I branched out into.
Sure.
Duncan Trussell Family Hour, and checked out Ari Shaffir's for a while.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Joey Diaz, Church of What's Happening Now.
Cocksucker.
He just gets me belly laughing sometimes, man. Hurts me. Yeah, and then like the hundreds of guests he's had on there. I've checked out all those guys, like whatever. Well, Tony Hinchcliffe was introduced to me through there, and Kill Tony is one of my favorites.
Yeah. I listen to every Kill. I think I've listened to at least the last 100 of them for sure.
Oh yeah, it's great, man. And I love that stuff. Like, it makes some people cringe, but you never know if it's going to be a train wreck or just magic's going to happen. But I just love the tension and the mystery. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah, for people that don't know what we're talking about, Kill Tony is a podcast done every Monday in LA at the Comedy Store by Tony Hinchcliffe, who's a hilarious comedian, and he's got Red Band and all those other guys. And they do it at the Comedy Store, and they put names in a hat, and they pick names out of the hat, and these guys do 1 minute of stand-up. And yeah, like he's saying, they either bomb super hard. I mean, I would say the ratio is pretty high, actually, of them bombing.
Yeah, it's quite a bit of bombing.
Yeah, like some of these, you can tell these are like kids hanging out in these alt rooms and stuff where there's like poetry slams going on and all this, like, I don't know, meetings.
Just a first timer, just a insane person off the street.
Yeah, for sure.
You get some of those once in a while. You get somebody who's been doing it for a while or who's good at it. And even if for a good comedian, 1 minute is not easy to get up there and establish yourself and be funny in a minute. So give them some slack.
Yeah. What is kind of amazing to me is how many people don't finish the minute.
Yeah.
And like kind of by a lot, sometimes you're like, wow, man, that was like 40 seconds, 30 seconds.
Yeah. You were off by like a third.
Yeah. And they'll just sit there and like make noises in the mic and like laugh at themselves. It's weird.
Yeah. You don't think you'd try and have an extra 15 seconds just in your back pocket, maybe just in case? Like,
yeah.
Like if you're in a band and you got to play a 40-minute set, you're not going to, have 38 minutes of material, and like if you speed it up a little bit, it's going to be 35 minutes, and you're always going to have an extra song or two.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, it's funny, and they always say, "Oh, a minute's really hard to do," or "I didn't think I'd get picked."
Yeah, I never thought I'd get up.
But yeah, that's kind of a car wreck podcast. Any other ones you listen to?
Regularly, I like, I'll listen to Nerdist once in a while, depending who's on there.
Who? Nerdist. Nerdist, okay.
Nerdist, yeah. You Made It Weird, Pete Holmes.
Okay.
He goes pretty deep with some people. WTF, depending who's on Mark Maron's podcast.
Oh, yeah, I've never listened to that one. I wanted to listen. He
Yeah.
had Obama on, didn't he?
Yeah.
That's
No,
crazy.
his podcast, his is huge. Like him and Rogan are, both huge.
Sure.
I'd say like in that same level. Maybe Rogan's about bigger numbers. I don't know, but WTF is right up there.
Yeah, cool. So, you ever heard of Legion of Skanks?
Yes, I've Big J Okerson and Louis J Gomez. Yeah, I've been hearing them on other podcasts, so it kind of cross pollinates, and then I've checked out a couple episodes of that now. They are unreal. They really push. Man, yeah.
They really push it, man. It's hilarious what they get away with. If you like, I don't know, if you like Howard Stern, you should listen to this.
Right.
And if you're gonna, I don't know, if you get triggered over stuff, you should listen to it too.
Yeah, totally. I think it's just a way of weeding out anybody who gets triggered by anything, saying like, if we just push in this direction as much as possible, let's just be all offensive to everybody, and then it kind of takes the power away from it, you know.
Sure. It's amazing how they do it. Awesome.
Yeah, those guys are hilarious.
Cool. Yeah. I listen to most of those too. We were talking a bit before. I love the Stanhope podcast. It's hilarious. He's just hammered all the time. And
I just heard him on Bert Kreischer's podcast.
Oh yeah, I didn't listen to that one yet.
Bertcast. Yeah, and him and Stanhope do a podcast in one of Johnny Depp's guest houses somewhere. Just like Stanhope staying at Johnny Depp's guest house, and they're just hanging out there drinking and smoking and podcasting. Depp wasn't there, but it was his place.
Yeah, I know they're friends.
Yeah,
they're good friends somehow. There's a famous picture of them in a Walmart together.
Oh, really? Yeah, Stanhope
a Target, I think.
Oh yeah, Stanhope talks about it a little bit on that podcast. So I think Marilyn Manson showed Johnny Depp this Doug Stanhope bit, like, you know, a video on YouTube or something, and Depp right away was like, "Oh shit, I could hang out with this guy," and then they became buddies.
That's fucking rad. He is fucking hilarious, man. God damn, he is probably my favorite walking comedian.
Yeah, and he's right in that alley with those Legion of Skanks guys, like same neighborhood. You just fucking say nothing is off limits. It's just personal to the max. It's no shame. Dick's coming out.
That's how art should be.
Yeah, it's funny right now too. Like he's not to talk too much about other fucking guys' podcasts or whatever, but yeah, he's putting a book out right now, and it was just like he's been putting it all together before this whole wave of, you know, rapists and molesters and pedophiles being outed, dug up from the soil and outed, and the Me Too movement and everything. And it's like his whole book is about all of that kind of shit that he's done. So he's saying me first. Like I'll tell you about it first. Outing himself. It's strange times.
Yeah, I heard him. He went on Rogan the other day too. I heard him say something to that. It's like, that's how you get in. I mean, what person that I hang out with has never been groped by me? Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna see my dick at some point.
Yeah, it's tough. Like you can't discount all of it, but how much of it is just remorse? Like 20 years later, somebody feels like, you know, actually that was inappropriate. I'm going to say something too now. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I've heard the people coming out are the ones that said no, apparently. Apparently the ones that said yes are very, very famous. But anyways, I try not to talk about what I call dinner table talk on the podcast.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
As much as I'd love to. I really would love to. But
out of our control.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, Stanhope's hilarious. So you were talking about Kill Tony a second ago there, and so I noticed that you've had Melissa Esslinger on your podcast twice. Just that, and your newest one was with her again.
Yeah.
So, did you know that I've met her?
No.
Yeah, this is hilarious. So, and it's kind of I was listening to that podcast today, and that's kind of what number is it? 16 or something? Conjecture Time number 16.
Yeah, it's only like I think 15.
Oh,
yeah,
15. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't done very many.
And it was kind of the catalyst to where we are now. But yeah, it's hilarious. So, did you know that I recorded the Jason Rouse CD? Do you know Jason Rouse?
Yeah, I remember he hosted the Metal Fest that we played at, I believe.
That's right. Yeah, he did. And
yeah.
So I ended up doing a record with him, a live record, and my band Kayaktis played down in Berkeley. We got invited to this festival in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And it had just worked out that Rouse's CD release from the CD that I made was the next night after we played in Hollywood.
Holy shit.
So yeah, no doubt. So and the tickets from San Francisco, or Oakland, I think we flew out of Oakland, to LA were like $69. So we just flew, and Nancy and I, and yeah, we went and raged in Hollywood for a night. It was fucking killer, man. And we went to Rouse's, and I had been listening to Kill Tony a whole ton. And Rouse played at the Laugh Factory, I believe, is the other big one.
Oh, yeah.
And
That's just down the strip.
yeah. But we ended up going to the Comedy Store a couple times. Bobby Lee was there one night. He was freaked out by me. He was scared of me. He's like, oh, God, this big fan guy keeps wanting to talk to me.
Yeah.
I wasn't fanboying or anything, but too bad, I don't think. But anyway, so that night Rouse played, and we ended up at this after party, and Melissa Eschlinger was there. I think she was actually on his show. Because guess who?
Oh, crazy!
Guess who else was on his show too? Darren Rose. Do you know who he is?
Darren Rose?
Yeah.
Man, I feel like I just heard that name somewhere, but no, go on.
So on the Comedy Network, they have Match Game, the revive, the old game from the 60s. Match Game.
Oh, yes.
And
you know where I just heard this? I was listening to your podcast with Big James with the Stab Twist Pull. Yeah, and I heard you mention this. That's where I just heard it.
Oh yeah,
you were
crazy.
talking about it on that.
Oh, sorry, everybody, bringing up the same stories already.
No, that's cool. So this guy was at that party. He was like hosting it.
He was performing that night, and he was quite funny actually. And because it was Nancy and I, right? And sometimes people don't realize that we're not married or banging or anything. We're just friends. And she's a little older than me, so he pointed at us and he's like, "Are you two a couple?" And I'm just like, "Nope," but like the whole crowd's looking at me, and it's like, "Well, I'm not gonna lie, like we're not a couple." Yeah. And he's like, So sorry, Darren Rose, didn't mean to fuck your joke up on stage there.
Yeah,
but
just thought it was a surefire thing. Like, oh, there's a couple.
Yeah, but yeah, I ended up doing like shots with Red Band that night, I believe, and it was
nice.
It was weird. He didn't want to do. He's like, Jaeger. Oh, gross. So
give me some peach schnapps.
Yeah. I don't get it, but yeah, no. I hung out with her a bit, and it was so. What? Like, how did that come about with Melissa Eschlinger? Like, how did it come about that you had her on the podcast? Like, why would you even think to do it once to begin with?
One thing was I was just a huge comedy fan, a huge Kill Tony fan, and she just seemed accessible. She seemed like reachable. I think maybe she followed me back on Twitter. Like, I followed her, and I don't know if she followed me back before the podcast. So then I thought, oh, she follows me back. I can direct message her, and I just put it out there. Hey, I've got this little podcast I'm doing. If you'd be interested, it'd be awesome to pick your brain about Kill Tony and chat with you, interview you, whatever.
Yeah.
And she got back. So yeah, we just had a little back and forth and eventually arranged it. And it was funny that time. That was the first time I ever did a Skype podcast, and I drove to a ditch somewhere.
Yeah,
I found a spot on the back road. Yeah, it actually had good cell service over there, so I just tethered, and it was better in that area than it is at the studio here. I had to find a high hill.
Oh, Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan. Yeah, man, it's funny.
Hilarious.
Get out of the valley a bit. And so we just had a chat on there, and then we said, at the end of that one, said we got to do it again sometime, catch up. And meanwhile, I just haven't been consistent with my podcast. I'd have 2-3 months between episodes.
Sure.
So over a year went by, and we'd been in touch, and she said, yeah, let's do it again. And I was thinking I should wait till I should have some other ones first and then go back and do it. But I thought, what the hell? Let's see how she's grown. I love comedy, and I want to see somebody who's actually in action in those early, in that incubation stage.
Well, that's what's really interesting about her in particular. I started listening to that show before she even started on it, and then I listened to all of it, and I still listen to it. So, it was, man, you could tell she is fucking terrified up there, man.
Oh yeah,
and I couldn't believe that he actually made her for people that don't know, there's the 1 minute with the Kill Tony, and then they have a a regular. They had 2 for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have a regular, and then they have that dumb band on the podcast of comedians. Fuck,
the best damn band in the land.
And like one of them plays a saxophone, and one of them plays drums, and then another guy has guitar, I guess.
Yeah, Jeremiah, Joel, and Pat.
But yeah, they like now they just have the one regular, Allie Makovsky, and then she was the only at the time too, I think. But yeah, man, it was rough. It was rough listening to her. It was like, holy fuck!
Oh, is she gonna hear her shaking? Yeah.
You can hear her shaking. It's like this person's gonna fold up inside themselves. Like, how the hell?
I know, and she kept going back. That was like, that's probably what Tony saw in her was that she keeps doing it, and there's obviously funny under there. If she could just get those nerves to fucking relax.
Yeah, no kidding, eh? I mean, good for her. I've been toying with the idea in my mind of doing stand-up forever, and I haven't done it. So, she's got $1 million on me, but that's...
Yeah, for some reason, it's funny. I in my head, I thought you were doing it. I thought, oh, fuck, Nate's doing it, and I'm the same way, man. I'm just such a fan and just a delusional comedian in my head. I'm like, oh, I got all these good ideas. I feel like I could be a decent comedy writer, but
yeah.
I'm like, how would I deliver these things that I'm writing? In my head they're funny, but how would I transport this idea out loud and make it sound funny? I think it's all in the delivery. But you've got, man, you're a natural comedian. I think when you let loose, if you like organized your shit, you could easily fucking. Your personality, your presence alone is half of it. You're interesting right away.
Yeah. I don't know. It's so funny. It's just, I even started writing down some premises, but then I go back to it and I'm like, what? Or I'm like, oh, that's not bad. Or I'm like, that's fucking garbage.
Right.
So anyways, yeah, maybe I'll get it figured out one day. It'd be pretty hilarious to start doing comedy at 35 or
Man, I'll do it with you. Let's document it. Let's do it.
Well, I would do some fucking writing with you too. That would be hilarious, man. Let's do it. Let's start writing jokes. That would be
fun as hell.
Let's start writing jokes. I want to have a late night show eventually. This is the beginning of my late night show. Getting late with Nate, dude.
Getting late with Nate. Have you checked out Norm Macdonald Live?
Have I checked out Norm Macdonald Live?
Yeah.
Oh, like the show.
Podcast?
The show. Oh, it's a podcast?
Well, it's like a podcast, video, web show. But man, his guests, he gets the fucking... Jim Carrey was his last one. Jerry Seinfeld.
Holy shit.
Insane. David Letterman. Like, this is all within the last, so many months.
Dude, whoa.
So huge. Yeah, like these guys fucking have reverence for Norm. He's in the comedy world. He's a patron saint.
Well, yeah, no doubt. See, that's what makes podcasting hard too, is zero connections.
Right.
It'd be a totally different story if I could get Norm Macdonald on my podcast. I bet I could, actually. I should fucking try harder.
Yeah. Let's try a little. That's... I don't know. There's something cool about that, too. Just the underground, just connecting with the level you're at, in your community and kind of broadcasting what's going on right there in your space. But yeah, of course, it's awesome to network with those guys. Like, you had I was just talking to Simon. You had Sam Tripoli on your podcast, eh?
Yeah. I think I've had 4 comedians.
And you've had Rouse,
Tripoli, and Hunter Collins, and Ron Vaudry.
Okay.
Ron Vaudry, he's some, I should have him on again. He's some, go check him out. He's hilarious. And he's been, banned from Canada or some shit. Like, he goes to the UK a bunch, and I don't know. He just seems he's one of these guys that fucked up somewhere along the line or pissed off the wrong guy. I don't know what the fuck happened. I have zero idea what happened. Just purely making this up. But,
yeah. They're the most interesting guys to talk to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's good to get the old sour guy's perspective. Maybe that's what I'll do, is just get all those people. The pissed off end of I'll get fucking Corey Feldman on my podcast.
Just a streak of salty old men.
Oh man, holy shit. So, sorry, we've digressed off of Melissa Eschlinger. So, I guess you answered the question, though. You're just a fan, and you got a hold of her and all that stuff. And
yeah, it was just through Twitter, just reached out, and she reached back and thought, sweet, this is accessible. I can do the podcast. I'll find a good ditch. And did it.
Yeah, found a good ditch, yeah. Very cool. Well, isn't that amazing about Twitter and all this shit? Like, the whole internet thing seems odd to me because, like, this is where it truly connects people. Otherwise, it just totally disconnects people in some weird way to me. But you can reach out to people, and sometimes they will answer back.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, it's another place where communities are formed, and they're not physical, but it's still real, having those connections.
Yeah, for sure. I bet you, like I say, I bet I could get a hold of Norm Macdonald if I really tried.
Yeah, probably could. Oh, Adam Egget is his good buddy, hey? And he's the booker at the Comedy Store, right?
Who's that?
Adam Egget.
I don't know him.
I guess, yeah, you probably wouldn't know him if you didn't know Norm's podcast. He's like his sidekick on the podcast. He I don't know if he's co-producer or what, but just his sidekick. He's kind of his like fall man. Norm can just shit on him if he wants to, and he gives him he kind of sets him up for bad jokes and stuff. But he's the booker at the Comedy Store, Adam Egget. He's a funny guy.
Awesome. Cool. So you're working on a swing record. Is that what you said earlier?
Working on, yeah, not quite swing. I don't know, big. I don't know, what would it be?
You were saying
I'm calling it crooner big band.
Crooner. There we go. I like it. I have a buddy of mine, his little brother, from my hometown of Silverton, Oregon. It's this tiny little town. I guess there's 10,000 there now, but
okay.
He's like 25, but he is the reincarnation of Frank Sinatra. It's fucking insane.
Sorry, who's this? Your brother?
A buddy of mine I went to school with, his brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's just got the voice.
Yeah, his name's Joe Dustin. Look him up, everybody. He's a crooner. It's hilarious. It's cool to know one. Could you imagine if you knew Michael Bublé? How rad that would be.
Totally. Or Josh Groban. He's a big comedy guy, hey?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's been on some comedy podcasts before. Have you ever listened to Comedy Bang Bang?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I haven't listened to that one for a while, but it's like a sketch show. It can be pretty hit or miss too. Like they'll do characters, and it can be fucking brilliant and hilarious, or sometimes it can be annoying and wear thin on you. But that's just kind of the nature of improv, I think. But yeah, Comedy Bang Bang, check that one out. They've had Josh Groban on there a time or two. I think he's been on the Nerdist before too.
Huh.
But yeah, he's a funny dude.
Weird, Josh Groban. Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah, you'd never think.
Right on. Yeah, I'm working on this record with Concrete Funeral. They're a death metal, thrash death metal band from here in Cowtown.
You said Concrete Jitto?
Concrete Funeral.
Oh, Funeral. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they're a killer. It's good times. Got some guitars, some bass. We got drums down. We got first guitars. So we're about a third of the way through.
Beauty. What are you using for an interface these days?
My buddy has a Digico live desk.
Okay.
But like Digico is really high end. And just like the preamps are really good, and I don't know, it's all digital, really clean and stuff. It's nothing, it's not like $1 million, $100,000 shit, but it's a piece of that. as close as I can get. So do all the tracking on that. A lot of the stuff I've been doing, we just do cymbals and snare, and then do electric kit for everything else in the studio, just to fucking.
Oh, really?
Just to save time. And dude, the new fucking TD50s and shit, it's nuts. Like I want to. The next band I'm recording, I was like, man, if you guys go rent this kit and we try this out, I mean, everything's getting so nuts now. So, anyways, with the new Superior Drummer 3 and all this stuff, it's like, holy shit.
Oh, okay. You just take the MIDI channels out of there and then trigger Superior Drummer.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But I don't know how they've been able to make MIDI so sensitive. I guess it's just a fuck ton of sensors or something, but it's pretty cool. I'd like to hear it with all the cymbals. But the last band I did, they didn't even want to use the snare. They're like, let's just do cymbals, and I was like, fuck yeah. So,
right. Oh, that must make mixing super easy, super clean.
Yeah. I'm like, I want to do it this way. You guys aren't going to want to, and here's why. So let's do it this way. Okay, let's do that.
Yeah, man. It's all in the results.
It just saves time for everybody, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. As long as the drummers are comfortable playing on the electric kits, and a lot of metal guys are just disciplined like that, where they can play really mechanically, and it's not going to make a huge difference for them.
Yeah, sure. But like fucking snare rolls and shit were kind of impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was picking up, even if you drop your stick when you weren't supposed to hit. And it wasn't a misfire. It was a tiny hit from Buddy just letting his stick touch the skin.
Yeah.
At the same velocity it would be if you actually did that. So I don't know. It's just getting really realistic. It's weird.
Ultra Sensy. Yeah, I have one of the old TD3. I don't know. I think it's TD3 kits.
That sounds old.
Yeah, the old Roland one of the originals. But it was the original 5-piece kit. Just 2 cymbals and the hats. And I've got one in the basement just for a practice kit, just so I can tap away on those at night when the wife and kids are sleeping. Put headphones on.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, awesome. I've been playing drums a lot more lately.
Oh, cool. Right on. That's sweet.
Yeah, man.
Have you seen any of the TD50s, the newer, high-end ones? I think the TD50 is actually, $20,000.
No, not I haven't seen the 50. I remember the 30, I think, is the last big one I've seen.
Yeah, it's fucking impressive, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. It's neat. And because of Long and McQuaid, you can just go fucking rent one sometime.
Yeah, if it's a big enough store, they'll put one of those in rentals.
Yeah,
it's fucking tight.
Fucking A. Cool. Well, fuck, man. Thanks a lot for doing this.
Dude, thanks for being on Conjecture Hard Yard
Time.
I was going to try to mash failure.
Conjecture Yard Hard Time.
So is your just before we wrap it up here, I got to know you're in the shed right now, or you're in your garage?
Yeah, I'm in the garage. Yeah, the war room.
Okay, so
it's colloquially.
What happened to the bus?
The bus is sitting outside. It's not a tall bus.
It's short.
It's a short bus, and I would always have to be hunched over in it. And fuck, once we moved here, I'm taking this corner.
Yeah.
So
it's a good thing you didn't call the podcast Getting Hard in the Bus or something, because then you got to be we're not in the bus. It's too small.
Yeah, exactly. I just dropped the ending song, Get the Fuck Off Our Bus. That's the only change that happened.
Right. A quick edit.
Mm-hmm. I want to thank you. I haven't used the intro music that you have let us use. If for people that don't know, the older podcasts had what was the name of that tune? You had to change it, right?
Yeah, we had to release it as RMW. It was called Robin Williams.
Yeah, it was called Robin Williams, yeah. Cool little instrumental you guys busted out of nowhere.
Yeah, thanks, man. It was from just a random jam, and we thought, let's stick that on there.
Yeah,
we've got so much of that shit in the archives. I'm like, I should dig more of that out and just fucking mix some of it up and release it.
That's hilarious. Fuck. So you got like a terabyte laying around somewhere of that shit?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, that's hilarious.
It's hours and hours of jams, yeah.
Just make your own band.
Yeah, just sample shit that we've done in the past. And this is my new shit now, guys.
Yeah, is this called Buzz?
I put it all here in my sampler. I don't need you anymore.
Oh, man. That is hilarious. Well, thanks for...
We'll have to get together in person here one of these days, man.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Not to talk about the weather, but has it been real snowy and shitty out where you are?
We had a little bit of snowfall here and there, but it's, I don't know, the last week or two it's been pretty mild.
Same here,
Single
man.
digits. Yeah, it's like, I think it was like 3 today or something. It was really windy, but...
It was fucking 11 here today.
Holy shit.
I couldn't believe it. Like, almost all the snow's gone. It's fucking nuts. It's the middle of December. It's wild.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Yeah. It's so funny how it changes from year to year. It's just weird.
Oh, yeah. And then our scale as, these little, like, humans that live, like, 72 years or whatever. It's like, think of the cycles that the Earth goes through. And we think it's like, this is not normal because it didn't do this last year, the last 10 years, but... Thinking like 100 or 1,000-year chunks, how much it varies, I'm sure, year to year.
Oh, fuck yeah. Well, that's some of the only TV I like to watch is the weather, actually, because sometimes they'll put the record by it. And,
right.
It's like 1953. What the fuck? It was like, 22 that day. And you're like, what the fuck? So, yeah, absolutely. That happens. It's just and imagine back in the day when it was so much fucking harder to move around, how huge it would have been to get let off on the winter like this.
Oh yeah.
Like fuck, if you're trying to cross the Rockies or something,
Oh man, yeah. Yeah, no wonder people would always find some, heavenly spirit to thank or something for. Like, we're going to live a little bit longer. We're going to make it to make it to fucking BC or wherever we're going.
No doubt. Crazy. We're pretty fucking lucky, man, to be where we are living in this timeline, dimension, universe, solar system.
Yeah, man. We're like the Goldilocks place and time.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
It's just like chaos. It seems like there's chaos all around us, but I don't know. In your own community, like I forget which comedian, I think it was Bill Hicks, saying like the news is talking about, nuclear war, and there's rape, and there's drugs, and terrorist bombings and things, and then he looks out the window. There's just like a bird flies by, the wind's blowing. I don't know. There's shit happening everywhere, but...
Yeah, exactly.
But really, it's all about what's happening fucking in your little bubble.
Yeah, exactly. We're fucking lucky, man. Well, look at this. Look at the technology. I'm fucking sitting. I have a laptop, my iPhone, and an iPad, and a printer, and portable heat, and audio technology. It's pretty fucking rad.
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
Well, it's been a total pleasure, man. Thanks a lot for doing this so impromptu, and thanks for swapcasting. Yeah,
nice catching up with you, buddy. When are you going to release this?
Oh, fuck. I don't know. As soon as you can get me the tracks, maybe. I'd like to just bang them off.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, we'll be in touch. Okay, it's been a pleasure, man. Hey, what's your Nate Reno, Big Nate Productions on Twitter, Instagram?
Oh, yeah. At Nate Reno on Twitter. At Nate Reno on Instagram. I rarely go on there, though. But I have 100 followers.
Well, there you go.
I heard I have 100 followers.
Well, at least you know they're real ones.
Right. Oh, yeah? Do I? Okay.
Well, maybe not.
Awesome.
For people that don't know, Nate runs his own production company, everything audio,
Yeah. Oh, Big Nate.
related.
Yeah, Big Nate Productions. This will be. You can stream this at bignateproductions.com.
Oh, nice.
And
Yeah, you host your podcast through there too.
yeah, the podcast is technically called Getting Hard in Nate's Backyard.
And it's hosted through bignateproductions.com.
Yes, and also on Apple on iTunes.
Awesome.
Yeah, you should be able
Sweet,
to search
yeah.
Getting Hard in Nate's Backyard. Yeah.
Check it out. And on my end, it'll be on conjecturetime.com. There's a little
Oh,
player
cool.
on there. You can download it through there. It'll be on iTunes. I've been having trouble with the fucking YouTube uploader. It's been kind of a pain in the ass, but it'll be on YouTube, and it'll go eventually. It's going to go to Spotify and Google Play Music and all that right away too. I just have to hit
Oh,
the
yeah.
destination buttons and send it out and fill in the forms, and yeah, check it out.
Fucking hey, man! I gotta catch up. I gotta get on all that shit too.
Oh, I know. The email box. There's just so much shit in the email box. Every day something's being updated, and there's just more stuff to do. It's like there's a pile of crap on your desk you don't
doubt.
get paid to do. Yeah, brother.
All right, well,
Treadmill of time.
hang on the line for a sec after we're done here. But yeah, thanks for getting hard in Nate's backyard.
Yeah, buddy. Thanks for taking that conjecture time for me.
All right, cheers.